Hey folks, welcome back to the Trinity Episcopal Church YouTube Bible study. I'm the Reverend Jimmy Abbott, and today I want to talk a little bit about where we are in the Christian liturgical year. We have just finished this long cycle that begins at Ash Wednesday, takes us through Lent. We celebrate Holy Week and Easter. Then we have 50 days until Pentecost. And then the week after that is Trinity Sunday that we just celebrated. It has been a lot of celebrating, a lot of church, and I look forward to getting back into a more normal cycle. I think you probably do too. What we'll be doing then in church on Sundays is reading through the Gospel of Matthew. We're going to start in the middle of Matthew chapter 9, and every Sunday, we're just going to keep going all the way through. So this is going to be a good opportunity for all of us this summer, going all the way up until Advent in December this year, to really soak into the Gospel of Matthew. Just a few things about the Gospel of Matthew. There are these long teaching sections in Matthew where Jesus will sit down and give a long teaching, a long discourse. And then there's usually some action after that to highlight what he's just taught. There are 5 teaching sections, like I said, and I really do think they are supposed to mimic the 5 books of the Pentateuch: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Numbers. It really does seem that this is some sort of parallel to the Pentateuch, to the Old Testament, to the laws of Moses, because in the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus really is portrayed as a new Moses, the new lawgiver, the one who is coming to lead his people from slavery to sin and death into freedom, which is resurrection, new life, and grace. I would commend to y'all, if you want to really dig into Matthew, this is an excellent little book by Stanley Hauerwas on the Gospel of Matthew. It's really a theological commentary on Matthew, a great way if you want to dig into Matthew a little bit more so that as we continue to read, you get a little bit more of what's going on. The Old Testament lessons and the Psalms for this summer are going to parallel what is going on in the gospel lesson. So in the gospel lesson for this Sunday, June 11th, Jesus will say, "I desire mercy, not sacrifice." He's quoting the prophet Isaiah. So we'll also read from the prophet Isaiah. And the psalm is echoing all of that. It's when God says in Psalm 50, "I don't need your sacrifices. I don't need your goats and your bulls. Would I even tell you if I was hungry?" God says. No, of course not. Because what Jesus is saying is that God desires mercy, not sacrifice. One quick programming note. We won't have this Bible study for a few weeks. As many of you know, I will be at the University of the South, Sewanee, for a time of continuing education and then a little bit of family vacation. So we'll be back. I'll be back with this YouTube Bible study in the middle of July. In the meantime, keep going to church, as I will be in church listening to the Gospel of Matthew. Get your Hauerwas commentary on Matthew and get ready to dig in with me for this long summer as we grow together in the Gospel of Matthew.